Okay, it still looks like there's no picture on here. I don't know what this means. Never had this happen. Doing? Hi again. It's still not up. I don't know. This just seems weird for me to like. I don't know. I guess as long as I can see that, but it just seems kind of strange to stop sharing. I don't know what this means. I tried to shut some other things off to see if it would change it, but I didn't do anything the last time. The only thing I did right now was I updated Skype, so I don't know if that destroyed my whole thing. I hate doing updates. Every time I do updates, I have problems with whatever device I'm on. And this is an old laptop. It's a very heavy, it's more of a desktop replacement than an actual laptop. It's so heavy, it just like takes all my strength just to carry the thing I carried in. But anywho, okay, so I didn't type out all those things again that I had typed out, but I brought my little trusty little booklet with me this time. So anyhow, so here's my list of C words. And see you next Tuesday isn't on there. So I do not like that word. So here's the things I wrote down that we could talk about. Not necessarily in this order, just okay. Cannabis, cancer, chemicals and chemtrails, cacao and chocolate, cannibalism, cookware, cataracts, cholesterol, and compassion and consciousness. So they're going after what I've noticed, and I've heard other people say, that people who got you can see me, right? So if I do whatever, you can, because I don't have a screen, so I can't see myself. I don't know why I don't have a screen. That the people who got jabbed, so you can see me though. Hi, Ray Clay, how you doing? That they are losing their compassion, and that includes my own daughter. I see it in her. She's going to be my best judge because I see her all the time, and she's gotten 2, and how many she's given to her baby, I don't know, but it breaks my heart. Yeah, so compassion and empathy are kind of the same thing. So, but yes, have you noticed? Hi, Charlie. Okay, thanks for the thing, because I don't have a screen, so I can't see. I don't know why I don't have one. This is the first time it's ever happened, so I don't know where to hit on something so I can see myself and what I'm doing. But I'm just looking at a black screen right now. So, but you can see me, so I guess that's what matters. So, I don't know if anyone wants to, we could just take it from there, because yeah, you could see that they're just like vacant. They're not there. I don't know. My daughter seems kind of be on the like in between, not totally gone, but she is a normie. And my one friend, I'm realizing that he's a normie. That I thought that they would be somewhat awake, just from what I've tried to tell them, to teach them, to explain to them, or anything, and they just can't see it, won't see it, if it's willful ignorance or what. Yeah, they get that caught in headlights, deer in the headlights look sometimes. Um that's a good one. All those C's. Look at all those C's in there. One, two, three, four, five, six C's in that one sentence there, P. Yeah, it's all the programming, all right. So it's just crazy how, certain people have different programming than other people. And like, I remember telling my daughter, like years ago, at least 4 years ago, I think it was, I said to her, at some point, you're going to have to make a choice. And I wasn't even exactly sure myself what the choice was going to be, because this was well before the actual, pandemic happened and all this, everything started going down. So I didn't even know what I was telling her at the time. I mean, now I understand what I was saying to her, but at the time I really didn't even know. And of course, she didn't know. All I knew that I could be sure of was going to be a choice between like good and evil, or good and something not so good. And that was before they even had the inoculation. So I didn't. It wasn't even that. But then that came about, and all these other things that, like, we're choosing one way and they're choosing another way, and then this big gap between us, and it's all by design, and how they're pulling off this whole consciousness shifting thing. I don't know how they're doing it. I mean, I assume it's technology of some sort, but I don't. Just is beyond me how that could be like that. Like they could actually do that to so many people, and that's like 90% of the population, right? Oh, the other thing um, that I did not mention when I was doing a couple of the other ones, I might go back and like I left off autism on the A's, and then I wanted to. That was something I really wanted to talk about. But the thing I wanted to emphasize mainly about that is that in the 70s, there autism affected 1 out of every 10,000 people. Do you realize 1 in 10,000 people how little that is? And now it's 1 in 35 people. It's just everywhere. How did they pull this off? How did they manage to get these many people affected? So, I mean, I've seen it in people around me, not in anyone like in my family or anything like that I know of. I don't know about my family, what's going on. But although, weirdly enough, that I had just out of the blue, I had a cousin call me from New York that I haven't talked to in like 20 years or more or something. I don't know how long it's been, quite a while. And this was a cousin that I didn't like his behavior. He's, on the pedo spectrum, if you want to call it that. So I thought maybe he was calling to apologize or something, or whatever. I don't know. But it turns out that I think he's dying. He's going 3 days a week to get his kidneys are failing, so he has to go get whatever kind of treatment he gets for that. So it was just kind of strange to have somebody from my family, and he's the only one left in the town in New York where I was born. Everybody else is dead or gone, except for like my nieces and nephews, the younger people, and like pretty much my whole family. He's like him, and I'm still in contact with my one cousin, my other cousin, a girl, and he's my other cousin by two different aunts. They were both my mother's sisters. Oh, hi, Liquid Evan. How have you been? I haven't seen you for a while. I was thinking of you. I was going through some of my back stuff, and your name popped up there. So I thought, oh, I haven't seen you for a while. So good to see you. So anyway, I talked to him for like, I don't know, at least a half an hour or so. And so I think he's just, because he's getting to, maybe he's literally dying, and there's no family members for him to reach out to. There's nobody to feel that connection with. So for some reason he called me. I don't know. There's a couple other people he could have called, but they're not people that I'm involved with anymore. So yeah, it could be better. I'll tell you. I feel like I'm being literally tortured. I don't know if anybody else is feeling the torture, but I'm feeling it. So the other thing that I wanted to, so don't you think that's a pretty big change from, like, in 5 decades it went from 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 35. So that shows what they're capable of doing to people, to all the people in all the world, not just in the United States either. So even I'm noticing, even like my friend who is like a normie, she doesn't understand a lot of this. Her partner does know some things, but not a whole lot. Even she is saying, what is going on? What's going on in the world? I mean, she's starting to question it. I mean, she listens to some of the things I say, but she doesn't totally take it in and understand it. So she just lets me say whatever. She doesn't like argue with me or anything, but she's like, she's been a Taylor Swift fan. And then she started to question herself, why am I even a fan of hers when she doesn't even understand why. That's how bad the programming is. She's idolizing this person, and she doesn't even know why. What is it that, and I think that's some kind of a program in itself. It's like a psyop, the whole Taylor Swift thing, that she's put out there. If it's even a she, I don't even think it's a she, but it's it's definitely mind control. I don't. It's scary to think that they're forcing all these um, weapons, basically. Oh no! On air, he had them. Holy crap! I don't know. He still hasn't reached out and asked for any help for me, so I'm not gonna. I can't just keep offering people help. I always want to help people, and I try to help people even when they don't ask for it. And then sometimes they turn it around and, like, like, say, I didn't ask you for your help. So it's like, why should I even offer it to anybody? I mean, I could really help people a lot, because I've been in the healing arts for over 50 years. So this is like what I do. Yeah, I don't know. Hi, Robin. How you doing? No, I'm confused about you Robins, because I have a couple different Robins and I don't know which one's which. So, uh, hmm. So I just made a video of something that I just did. So I don't know. Do you actually talk to him? Because before it was about his drug use, and being that I'm a former heroin addict from the 80s. I mean, I've been off of heroin all this time. So how long is that? This would be like, I don't know. I made it like February 20th was my quit date of 1983. And then I kind of got 1984 is the beginning of my journey, which is kind of ironic or weird that would be the year I start to, get cleaned up and start on a whole new path. Yeah, it's just crazy. We don't even know what to blame everything on. It's a combination. But people are so unaware of what's happening in the world. They can't even see the chemtrails. Are they not capable of seeing what's going on in the sky? I mean, lately the sky they're shooting out this gray and orange, whatever. I was John Graff, he's in LA, and constantly filming the sky and everything, so you might want to go check him out and see what he's posting. Oh, hi Michelle. It's a combination of a lot of things. I know it's just like it's like this, that, and the other thing. And by me doing this breakdown of all these things that they're using against us, just look at there's like a half a dozen or more of on each letter of like I didn't even include in the A's, I didn't even include asbestos, which is in the toilet paper that everybody's fighting over. You don't have to use toilet paper. There are other alternatives. You know, you could cut up clothes or towels or face cloths and dish towels and whatever, and then just throw it away. I mean, you could get stuff like that at the thrift store for like 50 cents, and it'll last you a month or more. Just cutting up a towel, one kitchen towel even. So, anyways, I've been going through this thing. Okay, we'll go on to the cannabis because that's like, if we go alphabetically, that would be kind of one of the first ones. So, I have been, I just kind of ran out of it that I've had for like, the last time I had bought it was when I was in Slab City, like a couple years ago. That's how long this weed lasted me. I only do like 1 or 2 bowls a night. I don't do it usually in the daytime. I do it to help me sleep. To help me eat. I used to do it to help me eat, but I don't really need it for that as much anymore because I'm eating less and less and less. So I used to have a trouble with my appetite, and I lost a whole bunch of weight, and I went under 100 pounds. So so anyway, now I'm trying to figure out how am I going to get it and know that it's anything good, because I won't be buying it from the dispensaries, even though I have a card for medical. So you can go listen to Jeff Schneider. Shout out to Jeff. He just did a thing about how they systematically transferred over the weed to make, and then introduced the whole getting a card thing. And you'll have to listen to him explain it all. It's really quite crazy how, but it's true. I mean, it makes sense. Everything like they can keep track of you. They know who's getting what, and they're like, my guess, what they were probably putting some graphene into the supply somehow, and they switched it over. Remember, there used to be the red-haired with seeds and all that stuff in it. You never see it with seeds anymore. Has anyone seen it with seeds lately at all? Anyone? So my friend who was trying to get me some from someone, he gave me some to try, and it was okay. You know, it's like, I could be okay with this. It wasn't as good as what I had because I lucked out and got some good. I do indica, strictly indica. I mean, if I do like a hybrid, I have to do it in the early daytime because it just affects me negatively. And I do it for the medicinal value. I'm not sitting around getting high. That is not what I do it for. So people that are abusing it are ruining it for those of us who want to use it as a medicine. But now, how do we know we're getting real medicine and it's not adulterated somehow? So I bet most people, I bet nobody here has actually seen some cannabis with seeds in it anytime lately. Like, it's been years since I can't even remember, you know. But see, they've altered it, and who knows what they're doing with it and how it's affecting us. So now I'm kind of concerned about that. It's like, well, do I have to kind of get off of that? But I use it to help me sleep mainly. And the other reason I use it, it's an expectorant, which means it'll make you cough. And you know that it makes you cough. But I do it in a way that because I'm always doing my plasma, which is my sea salted water. I do like a gallon of this a day. So with that, loosening up and cleansing the blood and doing all this stuff that does, and then I eat loads of fat. I've been putting butter like in my coffee. I'm doing decaf, so I'm only doing, just one thing a day of decaf to break me of, because I'm trying to break all my addictions, especially to food. So I'm down to less than what most people eat in a day. I mean, like one meal, and not even a big meal, and then I'll have like a snack or something later. Um, you know, but I quit eating like at 7 o'clock and start going down. So I encourage everyone to try not to eat late at night and to try to get to bed early. You don't like weed but need help sleeping. What about, can you do, what is it about the weed you don't like? Maybe it could help you with this. Because I mean, it's still a cannabis product, the RSO, but you don't smoke it. You just, it comes in a syringe and you just take a tiny little small grain of rice size, a little bit on, I mean, you could just do it by itself or put it on a cookie or something else and then just swallow it. And then it works internally, but you don't have to smoke it. So if it's the smoking part that you don't like to do, but I do smoke it because, well, I enjoy the ritual of it, but it also to help me cough. The RSO won't make me cough. So I use cannabis as an expectorant to make me cough on purpose. Well, are you going by the strain? Do you know to do that? Because if you're doing sativa, that's going to just increase your anxiousness. That's why I can't do it. That's why I only do indica. Now, occasionally I'll do an indica sativa hybrid early in the day, but not in the evening, because that'll wake me up and make me, anxious or just, it just stimulates me too much. So if you get an RSO indica, but then you have to get it through. I don't know if the RSO is going to be the same, I guess, as the weed, because they're using the cannabis to make the RSO. They extract it. So I don't know at what point they're putting in this additives of whatever it is that they're putting in there, whether it's graphene or something. Because I was wondering if it's graphene oxide and iron oxide that was in that video that John Graff showed a couple days ago. He was at, why is it gray and orange coming out of the so-called planes that I think they're holograms myself. There's no identifying markers on them that, names of, and a lot of them, like if you notice, a lot of the chemtrails are going straight up. What plane takes off and goes straight up anyway? You can't, it's against the aerodynamics and all that. I got to be careful. My voice isn't carrying through here because the door is cracked a little bit because I have it plugged in. So it keeps it open. So I don't know if people can hear me because I get all excited. Okay, so you know to go by the strain. So the first thing you want to do, if you're at all, just do not get sativa. Nix on that. Just get an indica. And if you get the RSO, then you don't have to. I don't never notice it making me anxious at all, the RSO. So just try to see. A lot of people, when I talk, like my friend who's getting it, I ask her, is it this strain or is that? People don't go by strains. They just get it and they smoke it. That's people abusing it. They're not doing it for medicine, because you would want to know exactly what kind it is if you're using it as a medicine. Okay, so that's on the cannabis. I mean, I could probably go on and on about cannabis. I think cannabis is a good thing. And I believe that hemp and good water will save the world. Right now, there's no good water. It's hard to find decent water. I mean, maybe if you're lucky enough to live by, a running stream from crystal glaciers melting down and all that stuff. But everything's going to have whatever's in the chemtrails is going to be in the water, in the soil, in everything, in our bodies. Everybody thinks that I have more gallons and they don't. Everybody has this. We all have this fungus and everything in us or on us. There's no getting away from it unless you hide under a rock for the rest of your life or something. But even then, it's going to seep into the soil and get you under that rock. Oh, you have some? Are they old seeds like you've had for a while? Yeah, do it. That's the best way to do anything, is grow it yourself if you can, because then you know more what you're dealing with. I mean, maybe sometimes you might not, because if you're getting something from somebody and you don't know what it is, then it still leaves you in the dark. But if you've actually done it before and it served you well, then do it again. Yeah, it's just a time, thing. You just have to wait on it, and well, nature does its thing. So I would be doing it if I was in a position to do it. I mean, living in a vehicle, there's certain things you just can't do. And that's going to be one of them. I thought I could possibly do that. I'm going to get another aloe vera plant to have in my car, in my vehicle. So if I need it as a medicine, you can actually make a little Band-Aid out of aloe vera. You just peel off the outer layer of the leaf, and then it has all the medicine right on it, and then you just stick the whole thing wherever you want it. Okay, Michelle, thanks for stopping by. Take care. I know so many Michelles, but she has one L. I remember she has one L in her name, where most of them have two. So that'll be the distinguishing factor. But I don't know exactly where she is. I don't know where everybody is that's here. So hopefully that will that helped for you, Michelle. So then on the next thing we would go to, let's see. I think it would be CAN. Okay, cancer. Now cancer is, we don't really know what cancer is. They could tell us whatever they wanted us to think it is. But I think it's just another form of what they've been doing forever. And it could be, another form of nanopoisoning. Because I think most of the diseases that we got going on is from the nanopoisoning affecting our blood. Our blood is toxic. And I've been doing this is helping to clean my blood. When I cut myself, my blood is, I don't know if you can see this. I can't see it because I don't have a screen. I mean, it's not showing me myself. But this bright light red, even lighter than that, my blood is thin, bright, light, red. The texture is like very fine. It's not like clumped. It's not thick. It's not dark. It looks so clean. So I think I'm doing something right. It's been well, it was a year in January, so I'm going on like a year and a half of doing the self-healer protocol, which is the plasma. In uh I drink about a gallon a day of water, and I put in that much. I probably put in like 2 tablespoons of Celtic sea salt, and drink as much as I make it a little saltier in the morning, and then I drink as much as I can, usually a whole liter and a half in the morning, and that gets me to go. So you want to bring yourself to the point of having diarrhea every morning, and then you just cleaned out the toxins from the day before. But like you still got like old toxins in there that you haven't gotten rid of yet. So that's helping to loosen them out and get them out of you. So then I eat a lot of fat. I put butter and everything on it. I cook a steak, sear it lightly on each side, slap a pat of butter on it. I put butter on everything I can put butter on. I'll even eat it plain by itself. I don't do that too much, but I would if I like didn't have any all day. So, anyone else into the butter? So the fat, when I cough, when I do the cannabis and it makes me cough, the fat is collecting all the toxins and stuff and coughing it out. It gets caught up in the fat, in the mucus and everything. It just takes it right out. You're craving it. Yeah, I'm a butterhead. My daughter always made fun of me because of that. Cream and butter. Like I like cream on my whipped cream on my cream. It's like just so much cream. So I think that's probably why my skin is so super soft and dewy, is because of the fat and the hydration from doing all the water, all the plasma water. So it's like puffing me out. Now somebody said that I looked puffy and pale. Well, that's the goal. I want to be puffy because I'm like, if think about a grape, and then a grape is round and puffy because it's full of juice, grape juice, water. And then as it gets old, it shrivels up into a raisin. As people get older, they just assume this is natural, and it's only because you're dehydrated. You don't have to get like that just because you're older. Oh yeah, I just went through a whole thing of sour cream. So good. I have been eating lots of butter too, not for any other particular reason other than I like it. Well, so your body wants it if you like it. I can easily go through a pound of butter in under a week. Wow, that's pretty good. So yeah, I probably go through at least a half a pound of butter a week. So I'm always filling up my butter dish. So, but also notice on the butter lately, it's probably been a couple years by now because I've been watching this happen. Only in the unsalted butter, they're adding natural flavoring. We don't know what this natural flavoring, but other people are starting to catch on to it and thinking that it's something nefarious, like I've thought for, the whole time, because they don't, for whatever reason, they're not putting it in the salted butter. It's only in the unsalted butter. So I only buy the salted butter, which is probably not going to be the best salt, but it's just a small amount. So I don't know. But I really feel like a lot more healthier, since I've upped my fat. So people that are buying lean meat thinking that they're healthy are cutting out all that fat. You want the meat to be marbled with fat and preferably still on the bone, because what they're doing to this meat is, impossible. Just the names of these things give it away. And these poor vegans have no idea what they're doing to themselves, or vegetarians too. They don't eat meat. So, and they don't realize that vegetables are not healthy. Vegetables can be used to help cleanse, but they have zero nutrition, no nutrition at all, vegetables. So the fat is where it's at. That's what I keep telling people. Fat is where it's at. Keep eating the fat. Now, the other thing I used to eat, but for some reason I'm not able to, so maybe that's telling me intuitively that it's not good. Like I used to eat liver, and I could only eat it with onions, liver and onions, because I didn't particularly like the taste, but I didn't hate it, but I liked it with onions, not by itself. And I would eat that a lot. I really liked it. But then all of a sudden I didn't want it anymore. And the only thing that I could think of, the reason that might be the case, is because the animals are eating whatever they're eating, and it's, coming from the trails. Happy trails to you. Is falling onto everything. So the grass and everything, the plant, whatever they're eating, the plants, the grass, the this, whatever, is going to be full of these, whatever is falling from the sky from all the chemicals in the trails. So, so I'm guessing that, that cows are eating the grass, everything's being filtered through their liver. So you're going to get an even more concentration of whatever that's coming from the sky, or up through the ground and into the grass or the plants, whatever. So that's the conclusion I came to, is so I don't push eating it, and I don't eat out. I don't eat, especially fast food places, but I don't even trust restaurants now. It's just, they don't care. They're going to go the cheapest way possible, so you're not going to get the best of everything unless you're. I don't even know, even at high class restaurants, they they don't know about nutrition and what's good for you. They just, they're going more by how much they're going to make on it and stuff. Yeah, I don't know about cod liver because it's still being filtered through the liver, but that's through fish, right? So the fish, I really don't know if they're maybe less affected because the water is going to be so diluted. I mean, anything that gets in the water, there's just, like, people are afraid to drink the water out of the ocean because everybody pees in it. Man, that vastness of water, somebody, even if everybody peed in it, I don't think it would affect you negatively. Well, I don't eat sardines. I don't like them. I've never liked them. I never were attracted to them. They just turn me off, just the way they look. From a Hearthstone farm. What is the Hearthstone farm? I don't know about that. Huh. What is a Hearthstone? Oh, shit. I don't know what. Is that just the name of the farm, Hearthstone? Or is that a type of farm? Because you don't have it capitalized, so I don't know if it's a name, like a brand name, or if it's actually a type of farm. What's in mustard? I don't know if I could ever get to like them. Something else I never ate. Not that I think they're bad. It's just that I never ate mushrooms my whole life, ever, until like a couple years ago. I started to try to eat them, and I think the best way to probably eat them is raw, because once you cook something, you change the frequency of it, and it's probably not as okay. So Hearthstone is the name of the farm. Okay, so they put sardines in mustard sauce? I didn't know that. Are you saying, no, wait. You're saying you like sardines in mustard sauce. You're not saying they put sardines in mustard sauce. You got to clear that up for me, because that doesn't make sense. Guess what? I just said both of them. Yes, you like sardines in mustard, with mustard sauce. If you say with, then I'll know that's what you mean. I just can't. Okay. All right. So then, okay, let's talk about the cacao and chocolate. I'm still what, weaning myself off of chocolate yet. Darko Velsic, I'll give him another shout out here. I don't know if anybody here knows of Darko. Usually olive oil or mustard sauce they offer. Oh, they offer it through the place where you're buying it from? Yeah, I don't even do really olive oil. I don't do any seed oils. I don't do really any oil at all, except the only, well, that ain't even really oil. I use duck fat, but I don't really do any oils. Oh, pre-canned. So when you buy them canned, is the sauce in the can with it, or do you add it yourself? Because I'm still confused here. Who is they offer? Oh, see, I can't really relate to this because it's not something I do. None of this stuff do I do. So I can't really comment on it too much because I don't do sardines, I don't do mustard, I don't do oils. I just do fat, fat from meat. I don't do pork though. I do not. I draw the line at pork because I just don't trust the pork because that's getting into the next subject that I was going to talk about, which is the cannibalism. So I don't know how loud I'm talking. China bought Smithfield. Smithfield is a company that sells, I don't know. I recognize the name. It's like Tyson or a name brand, right? Oh, pork. Oh wow. Well, in my feeling of, because I believe pigs are a hybrid of man, us, and the wild boar. That's a long time ago. They did the hybrid and made it into something, and we're eating it. No, I love the taste of bacon and everything, and probably is the closest tasting thing to human flesh. Allegedly, the people are the sweetest, best tasting meat there is. So that would explain why pork tastes so good. So I don't, as much as pork is the smell of a ham baking in the oven, and or any, all the things, sausages, pepperoni, who knows what's in the sausage? I would not, because I just heard something else that they said that there is a place that they're putting sauce in the sausage. It's like ash from burning, from cremating bodies and stuff like that. They're putting the ash of that into sausage. Now, I don't know how true that is, if it's just hearsay or to get people to be on edge or whatever. But I just draw the line at certain things like pork. I don't do anything that has natural flavoring in it. I won't do it. I mean, I'll read the whole ingredients list, and there's going to be stuff on there they're not even going to say that's in there or tell you what this or that means. And then there's all these like TPQR, all these different like 4-letter combinations of preservatives and what's the other word? Preservatives, and I can't think of the other word, but they put this in, it's in a lot of different things. And I was starting to look them all up, but they're not good, I'll tell you that. If you don't know what it is, if you can't make sense of, a bunch of letters or a big long, like there's a lot of gums and stuff like carnogene and guar gum and acacia gum. All these different gums are going to gum you up. I don't trust any of them. So if it has gums in it, like if it's the only ingredient that I question and it's at the bottom of the list, I might let that slide. But for the most part, there's most foods I do not eat. If it comes from a supermarket, no. The only thing I get at the supermarket where I live is raw milk, and I'm even surprised that they even carry it there. They have 3 different kinds of raw milk at this store, and I only get 2 of them, which is from the same farm. And I prefer the Guernsey cows over the Jersey cows. So 2 of them are Jersey cows, so I usually don't get them unless it's the only thing left. But I usually get the Guernsey cow raw milk. And I can't even get raw cream anymore. A couple years ago I could, but they cut that out. They don't want us having raw cream with all that fat, raw, healthy, full of nutrients and stuff. You're welcome. So I'm very selective on what I eat, and I'm pretty, I mean, I do cheat. I mean, it's like hard not to cheat. If I want to have something like eggs, I make with my duck eggs, I make hard boiled eggs, and then sometimes I make like an egg salad, but then I have to put celery or something else in it. I try to find the best mayonnaise I can, but most of them have soybean oil, and some have olive oil, and some have safflower oil. So it's only a little bit of mayonnaise, so it's not a whole lot. So I kind of make that exception for those oils. But I don't get like Hellman's or, oh God, Miracle Whip. That just grosses me out just thinking of it. So use cream for the, the cream is a little too liquidy. Like it doesn't have the thickness in it that I guess I could whip it into like a whipped cream and then fold it in. Yeah, I could probably try it with the sour cream and just salt it. I'll try that, Ray. So I got to get some more sour cream. I'm pretty much out of that. So, and I do eat pickles sometimes. I get these. Do you ever hear the brand called Grillos? Let me see if I can write it up here for you so you can see it. And I don't eat a whole lot of them, but they're and they're full of vinegar. Oh, I left out it. Come on. Yeah, so the vinegar gives it that little tang so I would definitely add that. And I make my own vinegar out of my kombucha. So, I mean, if I don't have, right now, I don't have any. I probably have a little bit, but it's pretty strong by now. But I haven't had any kombucha because it's just too hard to deal with in a vehicle. What loosens what? Loosens it. I don't know what you're referring to. Loosens what? So anyway, these pickles add a little bit of tang into, like I'm pretty much down to probably less than a dozen of foods a day. I do red meat, like steak, except that now the price went up so much. I don't buy that in the supermarket either. I'll get it at the co-op if it's a local farm, or I get it at the farmer's market, which is, it's still been going, but it's only been once a month, and starting in April, it'll be every weekend. So that's kind of cool. Oh, it makes it, yeah, okay. Yeah, so just need a little bit of it anyway. So I could even use a little bit of that pickle juice because it's full of vinegar and it's got that good tang. To eat the pickle by itself, though, it's almost too much. It's almost too. But like I like them with my grilled cheese sandwiches that I like to make sometimes. So I get raw cheese from the same. You can get raw cheese at almost any supermarket. I forget the brand name of it, but they have like cheddar, mild cheddar. They have jack cheese. They have jack cheese with the jalapeno in it, but they're all raw. And it might be in a different section, at least in the stores that I see. It's not necessarily in the same section with Kraft and all that crap cheeses. It has its own little section where there's like pates and more la-ti-da stuff. So, even if it doesn't carry the raw milk, you should be able to get the raw cheese at almost any supermarket. But other than that, I get like occasionally I get lemons and sometimes grapefruit, and I make juice. I juice them, and then add some maple syrup, which is I get the dark grade, which has more minerals in it. And so that I have something else I wanted to share that I did a video about something I just kind of learned about through Sylvie did it on her channel. If you ever anybody listens to New Earth, so I'll give her a shout out too. And I actually did. She did a thing how you can take honey. I don't know. I could save this for the age, but I'll just say it because I just kind of learned of it to use honey. And the only honey that I had gotten a while ago, and I don't even like. I didn't ever open it and eat it, but I got some Manuka honey, which is from New Zealand, and there is some bastardized kinds you don't want to get of Manuka honey. But anyway, I think I got a good one. And I did this process that she showed. Well, you can pull any kind of sickness or disease or whatever out of your body with rubbing honey, and you keep tapping it like until the sticky is all gone. You have to spend at least an hour doing this. And I'm going to put out a video. I did one today just to get it out there, and then I'll do the results of it later. But I feel the difference in my foot, like compared to my other, because I did it on my left. I did it on my left foot where I have all this what do you call peripheral neuropathy. Does anyone have that? I don't have it in my hands. I just have it in both of my feet, and especially in my left foot, which I've had for years. So I did this treatment, this protocol on my left foot so I could compare it to my right foot. Now it feels like with my left foot, which was always way worse than my right foot, now it feels like my right foot is worse than my left foot. So now next I'm going to do my right foot and see if then it goes back to feeling it more in my left foot. Because there's still some of it I haven't worked out yet, but it feels a lot better. Hi, Forever Flowers. How you doing, hon? Wow. Is it good Manuka, though? Because you can't just get any Manuka. First of all, I think it has to be from New Zealand. And even at that, don't get the kind from Australia. New Zealand only. That's the only place that it grows. But what I'll do next is try to get a local honey. Because the local honey, if you're going to eat honey, now I don't know about in this case using it as a medicine, like pulling, you know, disease out of your body with it. But as far as eating it, I know it should only be within 20 miles radius of where you live. So you're getting all the local honey that helps your condition because you're in the environment where that honey helps. And I also just learned about somebody, I don't know, they were questioning where do the bees come from? Are the bees actually created from the flowers or the very plants that they pollinate? Do they come from that somehow? And the other question I have, I'm going to ask people here, has anyone ever seen a baby seagull? I never have. I live by the ocean. I've been to different coasts, California, North Carolina, Washington, all these places along the coast where there's zillions of seagulls. I never once saw a baby seagull. What is up with that? I only buy local honey. That's good. A little store here sells a local man's honey, helps with allergies. Yeah, especially for allergies. If you're doing it for allergies, they're going to treat the plants, the flowers that are local to you. So you don't want to buy and a lot of it's made in China. So one of the things that Sylvie was saying about using these, like if it's an adulterated honey, even if it's like, say it's like 50% honey and then they put in molasses or syrup or some other kind of sugar to extend it, even if it's 0.5% honey, it will do nothing. It will do nothing unless it's totally 100% honey. So you got to be careful that you're getting honey that's pure and not adulterated, not other stuff added to it to make it like sweet. Okay, so why don't we ever see a little teenager baby seagull? Like other birds, you see other little birds in the nest or falling or just in the air or whatever. They might not be full grown, but they're like baby birds. I've seen lots of those. I'm always looking at birds in nature and stuff. I don't know about the Zucca sugar. But for what I'm talking about, you just want strictly honey, no other sugar added, just honey, because it will not work. It is like magic, literally like white magic. Let's call it white magic. That when you're doing this, you have to, like, say I put it on my hand. Okay, I smear the thing on, and you have to keep tapping your skin wherever it is. Like I was doing it on my foot, my lower leg, and my around my ankle, my foot. And you keep doing, and you're pulling out. All this stickiness is helping you to pull out, and do it with intent. Think that, you're pulling all the garbage out of you. All the, like the one she was doing was for arthritis, and the lady said she had this for decades, this problem with the arthritis, and she said it was gone. Like the pain and everything was gone. Hi Rod, how you doing? Well, yeah, baby robins, they're cute. So why aren't we seeing baby seagulls? I've never saw, I mean, they're always like big giant ones. You don't see little small ones. Where do they go? Where are they? They have to, it's just mind boggling. I never thought of that until somebody asked the question. Now I'm looking all the time. You can't see them. I never see them. Yep, the intent is a big part of it. Never question that. Like, you could take out, I don't know, Lolita was talking about a nag that she pulled out, like a demon or something pulled through her head. Just get out of me. And I do. I talk to him. I say, no demons are welcome here. Stay away from me. Get away from me. So there's a lot to that intent thing. You know, however you look at it, it's a lot of consequences of what we do has to do with our intent, whether it's good or bad. No, I'm not in Oregon. I am in Washington now. I'm stuck here in Washington until I get my storage unit unloaded from stuff. I still have a couple rugs and a couple pieces of furniture, and I'm just getting rid of everything. I'm selling what I can and giving away stuff, and just, it's part of my conscious decision to break free of this realm. So anything that we are holding on to, whether it's, a material possession, or if it's even a relationship or a whatever. Like I don't even live in a house anymore. I don't want to live in a house. The last couple places I lived in, I was very aware of the dirty electricity in there. And when I tried to talk to anybody, of course they think I'm crazy, but I was very aware of that, because I ended up, the last place I lived, I um I tried to talk to one of the maintenance men, and then he reported me for saying whatever I was saying. Like as if I'm accusing them of doing something, and it wasn't that at all, but this guy is a jerk. So then I ended up sleeping in my car. I still had my Cadillac, my 94 Cadillac, which if I still had this Cadillac, it would be 30 years classic, and there was nothing wrong with it except that it did not have AC, which I needed because I was down south, and I ended up getting that SUV, which failed me. I didn't even make it back to Washington. It broke down in Oregon. And wow, it's really getting hot in here. Gotta take this jacket off. Whew. Okay, let's see what she's saying. Forever Flowers. She's of the woods in Washington State. Do you know her channel? She is awesome about teaching about herbs and making tinctures and salves. That's the name of her channel. She is of the woods. that the name of her channel, hon? I'll have to look it up. I don't know. I don't know her. I never heard of it, so I don't know. Well, the thing about, like, a lot of people are teaching to, well, if they keep, okay, a lot of people are saying, that, say, turmeric is good for you. Now, if you're using it strictly as a medicine, okay, but if you're eating it, just like garlic or any other herbs and spices like that, that's not what you want to do. You have to reserve those just for medicine, because if you're eating it all the time and then you need it as a medicine, it's not going to work. And it doesn't supply you nutrition anyway. She is of the woods. That's the name of her channel. Every day, every weekday. Wow, that's a lot. I'm lucky I get here once a week. It's just a lot of, because I don't have a house to just go set up and just start doing it. I have to drag all my shit over to the library. And I used to do it on Sundays. I like doing it on Sundays. And I could do it on Sunday if I'm down in Bellingham. But it's like a 50-mile trip to go to Bellingham to do a live stream. And I'm only getting 6 or 7 miles per gallon. So figure that out, how much it ends up costing me in gas to go 50 miles. So, like, I can't really afford the gas to do that. So I come here once a week, and now it's starting to fill up because they have a schedule. And because I, book out for a couple hours, it's considered, this thing that I'm in is considered like a study pod. So people are reserving it now. So I have less and less chances. So I had to make an appointment last week to have this today. So I have to do it like days ahead of time to be able to come in here, because there's usually someone in here now. When it hasn't been here that long, but it's catching on pretty quick. So now it's starting to fill up. There's like, where there was nobody on there, maybe 1 or 2, now it's like half a dozen people are lined up. So and some of them are for hours. Yeah, and the gas went up too. It went up almost $1 a gallon. So shit, it's like getting ridiculous. And now I need a battery in my car. It keeps dying, and I have to keep getting out and jumping the car, the truck part of the RV, which runs really well. But now it's the battery's failing. It's from 2020, so it's like maybe 4 years old. But so now I have to get another battery, and I don't want to keep putting money into this RV that I'm not going to be able to keep. I just had the starter replaced. So if it would have been the alternator, I think he would have probably noticed that. But maybe, I don't know if I can call the guy and ask the guy who changed it for me, if he thinks it might be the alternator. But it could be the battery. And I have a deep cycle battery, so they're supposed to like run off each other, but it's draining the 12-volt battery that runs the car and stuff like that. So I have to keep turning it on so it doesn't die, because it's been raining so much. I have to go out in the rain and do hook it up to the the post and everything, and sometimes it's not on right or something, and I got to go all the way to the back of the car and into the car, and I have to go back out again and over just to take it off. And if it didn't start, I have to do it all over again and go back. It's just a pain in the ass dealing with this battery now. So yeah, I guess. I don't know when exam times are, but it shouldn't be now yet, is it? You don't think they checked the alternator? I just had the battery checked, and he did say it needs replaced. So it is the battery. Yeah. They also do it at for free. They do it at Les Schwab does it for you. They'll check a whole bunch of your stuff for free, even if you don't get anything done there. But I know it's a battery. I just don't want to spend another couple $100 on this vehicle that I'm not going to keep. So I'm looking for I'm trying to manifest a preferably white or light colored um, full-size cargo van, conversion van, like preferably already done, but if I have to do it myself, then I have to do it myself. You don't know what the plasma water is, Ray? You should know that. That's what this is. That is just the water, my drinking water, and I add in it the Celtic sea salt. In this liter, this is a liter or a quart. They're almost the same. And I put in 2 teaspoons of Celtic sea salt in here. I put a little bit more in the morning, in the first morning, so it makes me go till I get the runs. Then I back off, and then I keep drinking this throughout the day until I've drunk a whole gallon. It's what cleans your blood. It's what hydrates you. Keeps you hydrated. People don't realize, they think that salt is going to dehydrate you. And of course they're lying to us. They lie to us about everything. Why wouldn't they lie about that? People that think that these are good people or whoever's in charge, they don't realize that pretty much everything is a lie. I had a hard time wrapping my head around. It can't be everything. Well, it's getting to be pretty much everything. You always add, I can't read it because it's behind this stupid shit. Thank you. I always add something, my coffee water. I can't read because they have these emoji things in my way, so I can't read what your thing is unless somebody else puts up wait, I know what to do. All right, now I can read it. Even to my coffee water. Okay. You always add salt to your coffee water. Well, I put butter in it, which has the salt in it. And it gives it such a good flavor, like creamy, like almost like a caramel flavor. Because real caramel is made with butter. So you get that creamy, little salty taste of caramel. Mm. And then I actually butter my steak. I put a big pat of butter on the steak after it's cooked and let it melt in. So I usually get tenderloin steaks because they're easier to chew. I have TMJ and missing teeth and stuff, so I get that. But it's $50 a pound now, where I was getting it at the co-op. $50 for 1 pound. So I get like a little half pound or a third of a pound. It's like $3 a bite. Oh, you have to use the Celtic? You can't find Celtic. Can you get it online? The time before that, I got it through Amazon. I don't really use Amazon all that much, but I did get it from there, and I got a big, I think it was 16-pound container of salt. It was at least 16 pounds. I don't know why that number is in my head, but it was the thing itself was like a foot high and about eight or 10 inches wide. So it was a pretty big container. The only thing is, it was in plastic, and it started. You could tell it was drawing moisture, even though it was closed. And I think in glass, I put it in glass, and it seemed like the glass did it even more. So I guess glass doesn't protect it from humidity, then, huh? So yeah, it's so expensive. So what I think I'll start doing is getting the cheaper cuts, but the ones that actually have the bone in it. So you're paying per pound by the bone, but it's a lot cheaper per pound. So I'll probably start just doing New York, like strip steaks or ribeyes or whatever they're called, T-bone steaks, because that's where the piece that I like, which is the tenderloin, comes out of that part, but there's no bone on it. So I'm going to start trusting the boned meat better than deboned, because who knows what they can put into ground meat. If I get it from these local farmers, I trust it, but I don't get any other meat. In fact, the other day, I was at this, like, there's this truck goes around like an outreach thing, and they help people, give people like shampoo and razors and odd things to help the homeless people and stuff. So, shoot, what was I going to say? So they, where I do my laundry, they come behind the building there, and they actually bring hot food that somebody, different people from the neighborhood or the outreach program make for people. And there was one that was like some kind of a pasta, kind of like lasagna. Well, it wasn't really lasagna. It was just like pasta with a bunch of slop and stuff in it. And I don't do pasta. Not that I don't like it. I just don't do it. I don't do pasta. I don't do rice. I don't do any of those starches. And so the other option was they had mashed potatoes, and meatloaf. So I got one, and I bit into this meat, and it was so gross. I could not eat it. I had to spit it out and hope the lady didn't see me, but I guess I don't really care. The lady who made it, I mean, I thanked her for doing it, but then after I ate it, it's like, so I went and threw it away. I just walked away and took it to a trash can and threw it away. It was so gross. Ugh. So it's getting hard to find good meat, anywhere. I mean, I wouldn't go to a restaurant and eat it. I don't trust restaurants anymore at all. I've had too many bad experiences. They're taking shit out of cans, like chili. They'll open a can and pour it in, and then stick it in a microwave and give it to you, and you pay them like $10 for that. It's ridiculous. I had that with some kind of lentils thing when I was doing. I mean, I still occasionally have lentils and beans of some kind, but not regularly. So I'm down to meats like beef and fish, and I'll have lamb and even goat, and I'll have like maybe elk. Bison, I think, is pretty lean, so you'd have to add more fat into it. But I'm trying to find the more fatty meats, and so fatty meat. I don't do pork. I don't do chicken. Uh, and then I do dairy. I do eggs are not dairy, so I'll put them more with the meats. But that's as close as I get to chicken. And I usually mostly just do the yolk. Most of the time I throw the white away. It's just something about the white just makes me gag. It's so blah. And then also Brian 396 told me himself when I talked to him that he said that the eggs in the stores have polymers in the whites. Why do you think they were pushing the egg white thing and telling people, people eat the whites of the egg and throw the yolk away, which has all the nutrition, all the minerals, all the good stuff is in that yolk. And the whites, I don't know, is more like just a outside shell to protect the little fetus of the growing chicken that is the egg. Yeah, I like beef, and I don't know that I don't have a way now to ground. I could have ground my own beef before, but I don't have the setup now. I don't have like, I used to be like a chef and cook a lot of good foods, mostly healthy, but now I realize a lot of the things that I used to think were healthy, like vegetables, are not healthy. So so I eat meat, eggs, and dairy, milk, cream, sour cream, butter, all the dairy. And between the dairy, I think the fat and the plasma, the water and the salt, is what's making my skin so super soft and nice. My skin is like, is so smooth and so like moist, like dewy. It's just amazing. So I don't know. I look at people my age and people younger than me, and it's like, wow, their skin is so dehydrated and wrinkled and stuff. I still have these big things. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get rid of those, but if I had a little bit of a facelift, watch, look at just that little bit. Look how nice my skin is, the texture and everything. It's really smooth. I'm going to be 73 in July. So my skin is doing, and the rest of my body's really super nice. Even my knees are so smooth. I can't believe it. I keep wanting to touch them because they feel so nice. Thank you, Ray. So, I mean, I'm going through some hard shit right now with the way I'm being attacked and stuff, literally. What they can do to us is awful because I won't shut my mouth. And they can kill me if they want. I'm not giving them permission to, but I'm not going to shut up just because I'm just having to go through whatever I have to go through because I get attacked like on the daily. Yep, I'm one of the elders that nobody wants to listen to. People don't realize how elders have so much information for them. Why wouldn't they? These people that come in, like these Gen Zs, are like, even the millennials were somewhat, like that too. They didn't want to hear from it. They think they're so progressive and they know everything. My own daughter included. She doesn't want to listen to some things she'll listen to, but for the most part, she's under the mind control. Whatever. Yeah, and I've been in the healing arts for 50 plus years. Like, I graduated, I got my degree, my teacher's degree in 1971, but I actually started my training when I was 15. So that would have been in 1967, 66, 67, that I started my training. And, like at first I kind of was more into hair and fashion, styling and beauty and all that kind of stuff. And then I moved more into the healing parts, massage and doing the aromatherapy and adding that into what I do, and all these different modalities that I learned, shiatsu and Reiki and Heller work and just so many different things. Rolfing. Has anybody ever had rolfing done on them? Oh my God, it is so painful. My name? Oh, I just changed the one word from holistic to intuitive, just so people understand that's where I'm coming from. I live, almost exclusively on intuition, letting my intuition be my guide. And I do listen to other people and I take into what they're saying, and then I just use my discernment and just try to filter out what doesn't work and doesn't feel right, doesn't sit right with me. No matter how they can explain it away, if my gut says no, my gut says no, and I just have to trust my gut, because on the times I didn't trust it, I paid for it. And I did have a couple times where I thought, like the one time that when I bought that RV, my intuition failed me on that one. There was so many things wrong that I couldn't see, but I saw it. It's like, oh, this would be perfect and everything. And then I did ask questions, but the guy lied to me. So I can't totally blame my intuition, because I trusted him and believed what he was saying. And then it turns out he was friggin' lying. So, yeah, vibrations. And you know how they talk about Tesla. I don't know how old people are here, but who here remembers being taught about Tesla in school, like in high school? In all my years of school, never once did I ever hear of Tesla. Never once. But then I was in school in the 60s, the 50s and the 60s, and somewhat into the 70s. I never once, so I don't know when they started teaching about Tesla. It must have been in the 80s or late 70s. Okay, so you never heard of it. So I don't know how old you are, Ray, but I think you're a Gen X. Um, I think most of my subs are Gen X. Um, but I'm starting to get a few more younger. Okay, so you are Gen X, right? Is that Gen X considered? I don't know where the cutoff is to the boomers. We're 60, 64. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up and write it down. But there's also people. There's different timelines for different people. Give it, But I'm gonna try to find a general one and try to break it down and see like. So okay, so they didn't teach you, and uh, you're almost a decade younger. So then I wonder if another decade. Is there anyone in here that is like 50? If they remember, is there any 50-year-olds here that would know that you could say yes or no as far as the hearing about Tesla? Because I want to see at what point, like a lot of younger people are talking about Tesla this, and now they get the Tesla car and the Tesla. So my gut feeling is because I have a really strong connection to Tesla. First of all, we have the same exact birthday, July 10th. Not the same year, but I was born. He died in 48, and I was born in 51. So I don't know if I'm like Tesla reincarnated. But then I've told this story before how Westinghouse, who is Tesla, came and sought me out and paid my way through college, which I dropped out before I didn't want to do it. But they gave me the option to be any kind of engineer I chose. So they wanted my mind. And the reason they did that was because they found, now I don't know if they do this regularly. I guess that's how they like scout for people who are intelligent. But my SAT scores put me in the top 1% of this country, this nation, America. So not only am I an elder, but I'm an elder with a superior intelligence that puts me, and I have proof. My SAT scores prove that I have this intelligence. And yet nobody wants to listen to me. Not nobody, but most people don't. And a lot of people are threatened by intelligence because maybe they feel less than because they're not as intelligent. But I'm not like, I'm trying to help people. I'm trying to help educate people, and and I don't even ask for money for it. Even all the work I did as a therapist, as a counselor, and worked with abused women and drug addicts and everything, I never took money for that. I always did it out of my heart wanting to help people. But now I'm getting to the point where I don't necessarily want to help people that don't want to be helped because it's a waste and a drain on my energy trying to. I'm thinking of one person right now that I want to help so much, but he doesn't want to see it. He's under the mind control, he's under the spell, and he thinks he knows everything. He thinks a lot of people think that, and they don't realize how dumbed down they are. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to know, and especially if they get into a certain like cult or whatever you want to call it, it's a mindset that they don't want to break away with because they're so attached to it. They're literally addicted to it. So as an addict myself, I see addictive behavior in people. As an addict myself, and as a therapist, and as an empath with the desire to want to help people, it's like to the point like, well, they're lost now if they don't want to get help that's being offered to them for free. I'm not even monetized on my channel. Um, they're not going to let me get more. They know I don't really want to be, so they're not going to. So I just had like 10 new subs, and they took away like 8 of them. Somebody on their channel said, let's go, so like about 8 people went, and then I got a couple more from other places, and then almost all of them went away within like less than a week. They were all gone. So they're not letting my channel grow. Now the other thing that's happening, with me is that I go into a lot of live chats and interact with people to learn, to teach, to just communicate with people. They're not letting me be part of the live chat. So many different channels. I am not seen at all in there. Some places when I go in and I feel that's the case, I'll ask and say, can anybody see me? And I get on occasion, I might say, okay, we see you, Kat. But lately, I'm not getting any responses. Like, I am totally buried. They won't let me interact with people because they know I have the intelligence. They know. And plus the other fact that I'm detoxing now, I'm like over 8 years of daily detoxing and fasting. Like, I fast from 12 to 18 hours a day, usually around 14 hours a day. I go with no food. I do drink my plasma, and that's it. And and when I do eat, I eat very little, and the food that I eat is most nutritiously possible that I can get. And it's getting harder and harder to get it. What does that mean? I never knew we were a thing. What's that mean? Okay, so what was the other one? Oh, the cholesterol. So let's see what of the people that are here, whoever wants to participate, who thinks cholesterol is bad and who thinks cholesterol is good. Just put good or bad. And I want to see um, where people are at with cholesterol, what they know about it. Oh, we got a new person here. Yay, yay. Pathologicus. I don't know how to pronounce your name, sorry. No, it's not made from urine. It's made from water, the best water you can find. Preferably if you can get seawater and dilute it 2 to 3 times, whatever you can take of the salt, desalination. I do it twice, but Darko says 3 times. So you could start off diluting it 3 to 1. If you can get seawater, that's the best way to get it because that's all sea salt is dehydrated seawater. Not desalinated, they take out the water and just leave the salt crystals. So it's not made with urine. And even if you did take in urine, which you don't have to do, you only need like a couple drops under in your mouth. It reads your DNA. You don't need to be drinking gobs of it, which is now who knows what's in your urine because of what they're doing to us. We don't know how contaminated. The urine should be sterile. Now I don't know if it is or isn't, but I always knew it to be sterile. So I'm going to have to test it and find out and see if, I could use my own urine and figure out how, a way to test it to see how sterile, pure it is. But the plasma is not urine. So I don't know what the urine thing is, though, that you're talking about. So if you can send me a link or something, I don't know if you can put it. Well, you know that on my about page, you can get my email address. It's Catsy3333 at Gmail. But you could look under there under my about page and it'll be in there. So okay, so you got so far whoever answered, a couple people answered and said that it's good. So, it was kind of weird, because it is good. In fact, the higher it is, the better it is. And they're making it look like you want to lower your cholesterol when you don't want to do that. So for those of you who think that high cholesterol is bad, you're wrong. But then it was kind of weird because I'm going through all these, hi, Tam. Did you cut your hair? Wow, cute. So, okay, what was I talking about? No, oh my God, I got distracted. Um, what we were just talking about. Okay, shit, I forgot what we were talking about. Oh my God. Oh, the cholesterol. So I'm going through this period right now of letting go of everything because I'm like trying to break free of I don't even know what you want to call it, this realm. People call it the matrix, whatever. I'm trying to release myself as much as possible. So when the time comes, I'm like out of here and I don't have all these attachments. The hardest one is going to be my daughter and her son, my grandson, cutting loose from that. So I'm not creating like new relationships. I don't, I used to think I was going to meet Mr. Wonderful and have a healing center, and all those dreams are like gone. I'm not keeping myself attached to this realm. So I'm heading out of here towards the void. I've already had my near death experience. I know not to go to the light. They're all the medicines are bad. I don't care what, they're taking people off of medications. People are taking themselves out of the medications that they thought were saving them, only to find out they got healthier by getting rid of that medicine. So, so anyway, I was looking. I burned most all of my medical records. I had a whole stack of them. I got like years ago, my doctor, I requested them, and I had all these. Just there's so many of them. It's ridiculous. They're always testing you for this or that and the other thing. And who knows what they do when they draw your blood. When they only need like 1 or 2 drops, they draw whole vials. Where's all these hundreds and thousands and millions of vials of blood going, huh? So anyway, I found still a stack of, not a, it was a few more documents from my medical thing, and I looked it up I was reading to see like what was high, what was low back then, because I went through this thing with my thyroid, and I fixed it myself with my doctor's help because I needed the prescription to get the T3 and the T4, and I combined it myself in what I felt like was the right proportions and stuff. She didn't even know how to do this. I saw a thing on there where she was asking another superior doctor, how do I guide this patient who's doing this on her own, treating her own thyroid with the T3 and T4 medications. So I worked myself out of that anyway, so I don't have any thyroid problems. But I noticed on all these ones from different days when I was there, every time my cholesterol was high all the time. That's because I was healthy. And they're trying to tell me that it should be lowered. So, I mean, they were always giving me some kind of drugs, but I didn't take them. I just let them think I was taking them. So you got to do what you got to do, when you're dealing with these doctors and stuff like that. You have to like play their little game with them. Or what? Now I won't even go to a doctor. I won't go to a hospital. I'll take my chances. I might go to a what do you call it, urgent care place. Like if I don't know if I could learn to set my own bone if I broke a bone or whatever. But like if it was an emergency thing, I don't know, because I'm not really afraid to die. I want to get out of here, but I'm not suicidal, and I'm not going to unalive myself. So if I die, it's because something they did to create it. What happens if you go towards the light? Yeah, it's a trap. It's they'll have like I don't have any connections to anything beyond here. I'm not like, oh, I'll get to see my mother or I never even met my father. I don't want to have anything to do with my pedo stepfather. My mom was pretty abusive, so I don't really have much real love for any of these so-called parents that I had. So I don't have any, like everyone thinks they're going to go see their mother or this loved one or that one. I don't have any of that. So I don't know what brought me back other than the fact that I went to that light, but I don't remember doing it. But I do remember the light. It was like sort of in the distance in a spirally thing. I didn't see, I'm not religious, so I'm not going to see Jesus or Allah or Buddha or any of these other religious things they put out there for us. I'm not going to see any of that. So I can't be that influenced, at least not now. Maybe back, decades ago, I probably could have. So that happened to me in the 70s. So that was quite a while ago. I was strangled, so I was choked out. And then I remember the light. I remember being love bombed. But I didn't see a bunch of colors like some people say. I didn't hear about all these other nonsense stories these people were making up, or I don't know where they're getting them from, but I don't get any of this, all this other stuff. So mine was just very simple. That's all I remember of it. I don't remember any life review or any of that shit. But then I came out of it, and so whatever. So no one else here had a near death experience. So I would definitely, I would say it's a trap. That's why I tell people don't go to the light, because that's going to be your natural instinct to go to that unless you're warned about it. So who knows? But I'm looking forward to the void. I don't know if anyone's into that. Anyone that listens to Lolita, she talks about it. I don't know many other people that are talking about these things I'm talking about right now, but anyway. So anyway, my cholesterol was always high on every single one I read. It said high cholesterol high, LDD, TDD, whatever. There's another doctor that's putting out some good information, but then he doesn't know about everything. And I think I'm gonna have to sneeze. His name is Dr. Anthony Chafee, but he is talking about the vegetables that will kill you. They are not your friends. They are not, so this is a mainstream doctor, but he knew nothing about Morgellons. So that made me question, how could he not know this? I mean, this has been around. Like I've been hit up with it in the form of fibromyalgia since the 80s. So how could he not know of this? So that's making me question him. Is he doing this for clicks and to get business and stuff like that by promoting? I'm sure he believes in it. He talks really well about it. I mean, the whole thing that he talks about, the carnivore diet and that. Yeah, I don't get the that floating sensation or any. I hear people talking about seeing like evil entities and mantis beings and all these different grays, and I've never had any of those kind of experiences with aliens and abduction or any of that stuff. I did have an experience back in the 80s. I think it would have been in the 80s when I lived in Laguna Beach, California, and I lived in this cute little house, part of a house that was right at the beach. Like it was right on Cliff Drive, which was off of Pacific Coast Highway. Um, and like you go straight down Pacific Coast Highway and you make a right as you're going down towards Laguna, and you go right towards the ocean. So the house is right there at the ocean. Just like cross the street and down the steps and you're on the sand. So one night I was sleeping and I woke up and saw all this bright orange, red, yellow colors in the sky that looked like fire. It was so bright. And then I got up and it's like, holy shit, what am I looking at? And I went out and I just saw this big, for lack of a better word, I guess it would be spaceship, but it wasn't a spaceship shape like a disc or anything. It was just a big light. Like it was a big I don't know if you would call it a ship or whatever. I don't know, but it took up so much of the sky, and it seemed really close to the shore. It wasn't like way out in the distance. It was like so big right in front of me. And I don't remember how long it lasted. I just remember those bright, bright colors, yellow, red, orange, like fire colors in the sky. And then all of a sudden it just went, and it like disappeared into like a slit in the sky, like a portal. I don't know how else to explain that. That's my only really supernatural experience that I ever had with anything that I could not explain or could not account for. But it literally looked like the sky, it didn't like open up. It just like went into like a slit. Like it just, all of the whole thing just, and it was gone. It just disappeared like that through what I'm guessing is a portal. So it was interesting to say the least. I feel like an alien sometimes too. And it was very bright and colorful. And I didn't talk about it for all these years and just until recently, because I can't deny that it happened. I saw it. I saw it with my eyes. No one else was there to talk to. It was like 3 in the morning or something. And, but it just, I mean, it's always stayed with me, but I never really talked about it because it was almost like I couldn't believe it my own self. And I see other people filming stuff in the sky like that, but I'm starting to see these things are like, I don't know if they're AI or we don't know what we're looking at. I don't, you know, I've questioned the AI for some years now, and it's probably been around for quite a long time. How long was that? How long ago? Oh, that was in the 80s that happened in Laguna Beach, California, which is Orange County. I'm sure you've heard of Laguna Beach. It's beautiful. I lived in Laguna Beach. I lived in Newport Beach. I lived in the elite part of Newport Beach, which is already pretty elite. I lived in Corona Del Mar. That's where I did a good part of my career. I worked in salons there, and then I had my own salon in my home on Pacific Coast Highway. And I had millionaire clients. Not all of them were millionaires, but I had a couple of millionaire clients. And one became a good friend of mine, and I can't find him because I thought I could, when I was trying to figure out where I could have my healing center, I thought like, oh my God, he would probably let me do it. My friend Tom owns an island in Costa Rica. He owns the whole island. And the last time I knew, he had like 5 houses built on there for like guest houses for people to come and stay for vacations or whatever. So that would be the perfect place to have it, but I can't. I've sent him a couple things and I got it returned or never got any kind of response. So yeah, I don't know if anybody else saw it. I didn't really know the neighbors or anything there. So I didn't really get to talk to anybody about it. But I didn't make it up. I didn't imagine it. At least I don't think I did. But I've not seen anything like that since. And I've never had any kind of alien experiences. Has anybody else? But I wouldn't doubt that we might start seeing things soon as the veil keeps getting thinner and thinner and we're able to see things, because I'm starting to see sort of like, I don't know, people call them shadow people, or I don't know what to call. I see stuff in my peripheral vision, like moving, like dark shadows or something. Like it seems like a person or something's there, and then I look, there's nothing there. So I'm starting to see this on the corners of my eyes, like in my peripheral vision, seeing stuff. And I've never done. I mean, I had a long time ago did like LSD, but I haven't done DMT or any other kind of hallucinogenics or anything like that. Like, so I could go meet the machine elves or the different beings, the jinn or whatever that's, that you see or talk to mother and all that stuff. Like, I know of it, but I never did that myself. But I do know that when we die, we have a massive release of DMT. And I don't think death is anything to fear. Just like birth, death, it's just a phase, like we go through one to the other, and it's all happening simultaneously. And but I mean, that's my belief. It might not be other people's belief, but anyhow. Okay, let me just do something here. Box them out of the higher frequencies, exposing them. I see them. Box them out. The higher frequencies is exposed. Well, talking about higher frequencies, I guess in that case, maybe, but I'm not trying to raise my frequency. I'm trying to lower my frequency. Most people talk about raising their frequency. Our frequencies are so friggin' high. We're so exposed to all these high frequencies when we should be down at like 7 or 8 hertz in the Schumann resonance. We don't need our, all this new age garbage that they talk and they have you thinking you need to raise your frequency. Not me. So you're seeing them out of the corner of your eye too, right? Not just me. Yeah, we need to be grounding is right, more than floating away and like, I don't believe heaven is up there. I don't believe hell is down there. I think we're in hell and heaven's in here. That's what I feel like. Heaven is within us. Our answers are within us. Our Savior is within us. It's not something outside of us that's going to save us. That's what they want you to think. And all these poor Christians under the spell that think that Jesus is coming to save them, they are really lost. So I'm starting to lose interest in not a lot of, but the few channels that are Christians that are just going on and on about nonsense that doesn't resonate with me. So I'm having to step away from them. No, I don't believe that. Well, I don't know what you mean by that, but I think higher frequency is fear. But I'm not sure what you're meaning by that. So we could be saying the same thing. I have started using electroculture in the garden. It is really interesting stuff, simple to make and use. So are your what kind of plants are you growing that, or what is it that you're um electroculturing? So it's the use of electricity. I think that all these plasma fires, these so-called wildfires, are electrical plasma fires coming up from the ground. If has anyone listened to he talks about it a lot. He's been doing it for like 6 years now. So if he's the one that would kind of be on to this the best is Jeff Snyder. But he's going in another direction again. He's going off in some kind of, I don't know what it is, Jesus or something. It's like, oh no, not another one taking over. But anyway, he's got good information, I think, on the fires because he's been doing it for quite a while. And so he's got a lot of interesting things to say about it. And he's going around showing how they're burned from the inside and like how the fire travels along like an electrical route. And that's why you can't put them out with fires. With water. I think like in Lahaina, and I think they did it in California too at the Paradise and other places. They like shut the water off because you can't use water to put them out. I don't know how they go out, if they just burn out on their own or whatever. But they're underground, these fires. They are not forest fires. And that one botanist, or what do you call it, arborist, that was researching, he said out of like, I don't know, first he said 106, and then the next time he was saying 115. So I don't know what happened with those figures. But he said out of all the fires that he investigated, only 3 of them were natural fires, like regular forest wildfires. All the rest, he didn't know what to call them, but he knew that they weren't a typical forest fire or wildfire. So I don't know how far he's gone, but he should go listen to Jeff. Oh, shoot. What's your guess? Okay, I have to keep adding a thing just so I could read the last thing. A friend of mine who also has Morgellons made a copper coil attached to a big long like a not a screw but a bolt, a big long bolt, like 6-inch bolt, so that you could just jam the bolt into the earth and and attach it to your body to help ground you. But then on closer inspection, I realized that the copper he used was not pure copper. I don't know what the hell it was, but it wasn't copper. It was probably copper and something else, brass or whatever, but it wasn't 100% copper. And I know copper because I used to wear copper rings and bracelets and stuff, and I don't anymore. I just wrapped coil around my ring. They fell off, and I don't do it again. But I don't wear any jewelry. I don't wear any makeup. I don't. Everything is natural about me. I mean, unfortunately, I have to still wear these friggin' glasses to read sometimes, but I'm trying to do it. You see, I haven't been putting them on. I'm trying to read without them. So, and I have to go pee now again. So it's coming up on 2 hours, so it's almost time to like quit here. You see me keep drinking this, so I'm gonna have to keep peeing. So I think I made it through pretty much my list. Okay, I wrote cataracts on here. I don't know, is anyone having problems with cataracts? Because I was scheduled for cataract surgery. This was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. But anyway, they did my one eye, and it was so bad. It was so bloody. I could put up the picture and show you. Maybe I'll put it on, like I'll change the picture on this video and put up my eye from my cataract surgery, what they did to me. So I never had the other one done. So now I have uneven vision. So one is more clear, one's more blurred, and it's just, I just never went back to have the other one done. I was just too like, shit, and who knows if they could be dropping, like any kind of stuff into you, like chips or anything like that. And I just don't trust doctors or surgeons, or I don't know. Yeah, I just the thought of putting makeup on, it's like, why, women are vain. Why do they need that? Are they so insecure about their looks that they need to cover it up with all this? And I'm a makeup artist. I don't even do that shit. Because I was going to do I don't know, a couple of years, it's been over almost 4 years since I was going to do, it was like 4 years ago, I decided I was going to do Sloan Bella. Does anyone know who Sloan Bella is? She's an astrologer, psychic, whatever. And so we look a little bit, I'm a lot older than her, like, shit. Oh, man, do I have to shut this off? Shit. Sorry. So I was going to do a impersonation video, not like mean, like a fun one, because I can make myself look like her because our hair is sort of similar. We both have this like pixie cut, and it's almost the same color. Mine is more natural. Hers is bleached blonde. And then her son died in August. So this coming August would be 4 years. But I was planning this before that happened, but then I couldn't do it because of that. I couldn't move forward doing that kind of thing because it was a fun thing, and she was not in a fun place because her son just died. So I didn't do it. But anyway, just the thought of having to get into character and put this costume on to be Sloan. I don't know if anybody knows Sloan, but you could go look at her. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. I don't think she needs all this makeup, but she puts makeup on, eye makeup. She has the microblade, the eyebrow thing, and then she puts this pencil around her lips and this lipstick, and it makes her look like a tranny. I'm sorry. I love Sloan, but the lips make her look like a tranny. Because big lips is a male trait. So is high cheekbones. They have tricked us so much with these, showing us these inversed celebrities that everybody thinks that a woman should look like this when it's a dude with the high cheekbones and all. I mean, there's certain other things that give it away, but I know anatomy. I've studied anatomy as, a massage therapist, as a makeup artist, cosmetology teacher of cosmetology. I had to learn it even more so. And then as I also took anatomy for artists because I'm an artist. So another angle of, so I've worked on bodies, I've touched bodies, I've drawn nude bodies. So I know bodies. So now with this whole tranny thing going on, it's just insane. You don't know what they are half the time because the hormones are going to trick you too. So look up nano domestic quail, domestic quail. Oh, I know it clogs your pores. Don't you think I know? As just being in the healing arts and being a makeup artist and my own self trying to detox all the time. It's just the thought of putting that makeup on. It's like, oh my God, I probably couldn't wait to get it back off. I mean, lipstick is probably not that big a deal, and I never really I only wore lipstick whenever I did wear makeup. I did wear eye makeup and I didn't put hairspray in my hair and all that shit. Even though that's what I did, it was weird. Mostly is the biggest part of my career is more my healing massage work and doing all that kind of stuff. So, and I just can't imagine. I bet guys don't like it. I mean, like if you're out on a date, maybe it's okay, but then you got to go home and make love to this thing, and then you wake up in the morning and it's all disheveled and half off, and you look like a monster. It's like, ugh. People that have to like put all these like things on underneath their clothes to make their body, body shapers and bras. I haven't worn a bra in almost 30 years, over 25 years. I don't wear a bra, and they're still staying up. You don't need it because then your muscles don't work anymore that hold them up. If you have something there that your boobs are dependent on holding them up, then and then you got all the like metal and clips and elastic and all that stuff that helps create a lot of these conditions that women have, breast cancer and who knows what. Okay, I really got to pee. So we're down to almost 2 hours here in another minute or so. So I'm just going to say goodbye. I was listening to somebody who, surprised they never come to my thing, but I go to their live stream the last couple times and they just like don't even say goodbye and they just shut it off and then make it private or take it off. And like I was in the middle of wanting to respond to somebody that said something to me, and I couldn't even answer their question, and the whole thing just went down. And that was 2 live streams in a row. So I already told him in an email that I didn't like that, and he did it again. So I'm gonna have to tell him again. If that's going to be the case, I won't be at your live stream. And I'm like the most active one in the live stream. Uh, yeah, well, I don't wear anything. I mean, I don't even wear like a sports bra or a thing. So I had to get this whole outfit to do Sloan, which included a sports bra and the different shirts she wears, and she has all this jewelry around her neck. Like, I mean, one thing would be okay maybe, but she's got like 6 or 8 different necklaces and all that metal. I just don't want to have metal on my body. It's bad enough that I have to have metal zipper on my jeans, and that's as far as I want to go. Or sometimes on a jacket. Sometimes the zipper is plastic, but still the little thing that zips it up and down is usually metal. So I'm just moving away from metal because I think the metal is part of the conduction of the things that some of the things they do. And like with all the heavy metals falling out of the sky is creating this whole um, conductive medium in the soil so that these fires can erupt with all the metals that are in the soil. Doesn't that make sense? Or does anyone know or think that? I mean, I don't know this for sure, but this is my gut telling me that these metals are going into the ground and into our bodies, and so we're conductive too. So I think a lot of it, that the torture that I'm going through, and I'm sure others are too, or maybe some people aren't aware of it, but or maybe just because I won't shut my friggin' mouth, that I get attacked and stuff, but I believe that the metals are a big part of it. And so when I'm doing all this detoxing, you can see how it literally cuts through my skin. All these metals create all these little cuts. That people call them all different things. I mean, some people call them lesions. Michelle calls them tears. I call them cuts. Lisa calls them. Lisa, I think, calls them lesions. And then then Ariel called them scabs. I'm surprised he would say it like that, but um, anyhow, I don't know if anyone else. I know there's a couple people that are subs to my channel that are going through some of this, so I would, like to support them as much as possible. Have a place where they can come and share their experience and help them to realize that they're not alone. They're not crazy. They're not making this up, but all of these things, like, does anyone listen to he put out a good video today that he made years ago, and includes all the Morgellons and the lupus and Lyme and all these things that I was saying years ago. It's even I think it's still on my about page, where I think all these different so-called diseases are all nano poisoning, and he's saying that in this video. It's all the same shit. So I'm not the only one that thinks that. But sometimes I don't always talk about it, because then I get more attacks. But it's the deal, I guess. The price I have to pay to help educate people. Yeah, his name is Lookout for Charlie. Yup, with the F-A. Not F-O-R, F. Lookout for Charlie, yeah. And Jeff Snyder has been going in that direction. Yeah. Jeff Snyder's been talking about this stuff. Both of those guys, Jeff and Charlie, both. I don't know what his real name is. I don't think it's not Charlie, but I don't know what his real name is. But because that's a reference to Vietnam, or look out for the enemy. So his name, he should give his name so people don't call him Charlie. That's kind of a negative connotation there. But they both seem to have pretty good information, and they're like way ahead of the curve. I mean, people are talking about now health things and stuff that I talked about like over 20 years ago. Like, they're so behind the curve. They think they know everything, and that shit is no bueno now. The food is not good. None of the food is really good. If you're eating food from a supermarket, you are literally poisoning yourself, and you are an addict. I'm just going to say that and put it out there. You're an addict. If you have to eat that food and you can't not eat it, and you have to eat it, you're an addict. You're just as much an addict as any of these meth heads or these heroin junkie, whatever you want to call them, and people put them down. Meanwhile, they're just as much an addict as any one of them. Let them try to go without food and see what it's like to be a drug addict, to have to go without their drug, because the food is drugged. it's all chemical crap. Like I said, there's only like less than a handful of foods I can get at the supermarket that is not compromised. And even at that, it could still be compromised. I don't know. Because, even though I read labels and stuff like that, they don't put everything in the label, or they put some kind of bullshit name for something that you can't figure out. And you go, oh, well, and you just look over it because you don't even know how to pronounce it, or it's just one of those TBQR things. There's like four initials. They're usually in caps. I'll have to write them down next time and I'll tell you what they are. But they are things you don't want to have in your body. So, okay, it's time for me to go because I got to go pee really bad. So thanks for coming. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having an open mind. And keep trying to smile and laugh. Oh, wow. Now, what the hell is this? They're blocking you, Ray, with all your emojis. They put up a hide show. So okay, thanks to you all so much. I hope everyone is at least smiling. Be happy. Try to be happy, make other people smile if you can. Okay, much love to everyone around the world. Yeah.